Why should people be not just lightly looking at what they've done and how to improve it? Why should they be doing more robust auditing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all comes down to, making sure that we're being proactive in a world where it's making it a little bit difficult, right? Because in every industry for the last 2 years, we've been in, for lack of a better term, turmoil with not knowing what's coming up next. And we can't just necessarily keep the same stuff going month over month thinking, okay, well, this is working, it's been working, we're making money, let's keep doing it, knowing that at any point, we could be thrown another loop. And I think specifically, like if you look at the automotive industry where everything is shifted from, a new car to a used car focus just based off of inventory, we have to realize that at some point that used car market's going to fluctuate and we're going to be over leveraged, and we have to figure out how to make sure that we're really being strategic with everything that we're doing and thinking ahead rather than just being reactive, which is something that, a lot of us are not great at, is that proactive planning. So it's just looking towards the future and trying to figure out what the trends are looking like and how we're going to make things better overall when it comes to the time to make those changes. And I think we're getting to that point now where we're going into 23 and, hopefully the sun is shining and things are looking up, but we still need to be very proactive with the way that we're going to the market.
And that's a really good point. We've learned some lessons, right? Since 2020, dare I say the year out loud, the year that shall not be named. But I think the harshest lesson is that, especially when it comes to marketing, we've learned what needs to happen every month, every quarter, every year. And we get into our routines, and that year, that period of time really caused us to have to throw everything out the window, right? There's always something new, something that we need to consider or plan for that is honestly unplannable. So we're finally getting to a place where there's a little bit more consistency, but that doesn't mean we have to take our eye off of what a lot of people don't always pay attention to. And I always want to hit this when we're talking about audits, right? So typically marketers, and I don't know if you guys will agree with me, so please interrupt, want to make this as debate style as possible. I feel like as marketers, we look at our stuff. We look at Google, we look at our business intelligence tools like Full Throttle, we look at all these different sources that we are used to using and looking specifically about our business. What we have learned is that we need to look a lot wider than that. What are national things that are happening? And a lot of people still don't even plan for politics. Politics burns up a lot of dollars. I know that we guide clients into pulling back in certain mediums at certain times. Those are things that I think if we spend the time evaluating end of year and then look at planning for the full year, we can create this roadmap that makes sense, even when it comes to our media. It's not the only thing we're going to be talking about when it comes to auditing, but when it comes to media, I think that that's crucial. Any thoughts on any of that? I just kind of unloaded on you guys.
Subi, that's a great point. And I do feel like to be able to have that broad scope of the industry, no matter what it is in retail or what you're doing, there's a lot of trickle down effects. So, if you take the auto industry and you look at, low inventory, you also want to keep an eye on, what is the game plan overall for EV vehicles coming out between all the different OEMs, the price of gas, what's the economy look like right now? Because all those factors, they make an effect in as people plan to look at things. When you talk about marketing and being able to put perspective together about like everything that's been happening, like you said, from 2 or 3 years ago to where we are now, I feel like small businesses have learned how to pivot, how to adjust, how to make these updates in their marketing, be able to target people where at first it was, more of fear of, being sick. And now it's more convenience. It's like, what's better for me? So we've taken what we've learned over these last 2 years, and now we're evolving it in our marketing. And it doesn't matter if it's automotive, if it's, food services, if it's, online shopping, everything has evolved and changed so much over that time frame that, this is what we're talking about. What I'm excited to have a conversation about, what does your marketing look like? What is your competition doing? How do we put our best foot forward?
And it's creating ways to stand out, Don, to that point. It's pivoting to something that not everybody might be doing, or if they are doing it, they're not doing it great. And figuring out a way to make it really, exciting. I know Don talked about the automotive industry, but you think about retail as well. Obviously I like guitars, right? So it's the same situation, as silly as it sounds, in the music industry. If you want to buy a guitar right now, they're not just readily available, but there are a lot of companies, a lot of stores that have started doing a lot of social media stuff that's really cool and engaging. So as soon as they do get that in there, not only are they getting great content out of that, but they're also creating a way for them to stand out, and they're getting hundreds of thousands of followers on things like Instagram or TikTok. These platforms that pre-COVID were, they definitely had value and were definitely there, but they're coming up with ways to be different on those platforms than just posting an ad or posting a price. They're trying to engage people. And I think it all goes back to, making sure that we're not just thinking the way that we shop. As Subi had said, we always think about the way that we market and how we're going to change our marketing. But you also have to think about how other people are shopping and other people are going to market too, because we meet with people all the time where they say, oh, I want to be on this television station because that's what I watch. And that's what I know people are watching that station. Well, okay, you might be, but there's a whole subset of people that aren't. And there's a lot of people that you can reach by doing other things as well. So it's really looking at advertising through a number of different lenses to make sure that, we're thinking like everybody else and not just ourselves and what we feel.
Steve, to your point, I mean, I love that. And to your point, when you talk about social advertising, you kind of have to take a step back and just realize like you're just one segment and, who are we trying to target as a whole? So, as you look at the different social aspects out, a lot of people are on, Meta, Facebook, you're on Instagram, TikTok, there's still a lot of Snapchat, there's a lot of things going on, and you just have to know your audience. Because when you start looking at these numbers, Pinterest, when you start looking at these numbers of audiences that are on these social sites, you need to ask yourself as a business owner, should I be there? Is this my demographic? And be able to start to trickle and try new things. You can't just go back with, this is what we've always done. We want to evolve and grow. And that's where you have to start using it. And that's what we do, as auditors. We look at the data. So we're not scared to pivot, but we need to try new things and get people comfortable to take that little step forward in something new and see what's out there.